Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. It is beautiful right now in Indianapolis. So I decided to take the show on the road. So right now I am coming to you live from Cleo's Bodega, which is a part of the beautiful Flanner House campus here on the near west side of town, and I'm so excited. It's May in Indianapolis. That means a few things for us. That means great weather. Hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed. That means great weather. That means spring is springing, and that also means that the month of May is in full effect over at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So today, for the convo, I am going to be talking with Luisa Macer. Luisa is in charge of community engagement and fan outreach at IMS. So I am really excited to talk to her about her role as well as what leadership lessons have helped guide her in her professional and civic career. I want to remind you guys, if you haven't seen it on social media yet, we are hosting another OI Insights event. We had such great feedback on our last event that was sold out at the Madam Walker Legacy Center, where we talked about the history of Indiana Avenue and some of the things that took place there. For this OI Insights that's coming up on May 19th, we are going to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where we're going to hear from Luisa as well as Jimmy McMillan, who is Chief Diversity Officer and Senior Corporate Counsel at IMS. And we're also going to hear from Kristen Whedon, who is the Chief Talent Officer for Penske Entertainment. The tickets are on sale now. You can go to our website, leadershipindianapolis.com. I will drop a link in the comments so that you can do that to be a part of this beautiful day. In addition to your ticket and having a chance to participate with others and hearing from the panelists, you will also have an opportunity to explore the IMS garage space and connect with other attendees. It includes free parking and light refreshments as well. So this is an opportunity that you do not want to miss. So be sure to check out our website for more information. We also have Get On Board coming up in the month of June. This year, we are going to host 3 virtual workshops. You can find that information on our website as well. Along with, we're going to bring back the Get On Board Fair in person this year for the first time in about 2 years due to the pandemic. So we're going to be at Newfields this year for that event. So you do not want to miss out. And that'll happen on June 28th. So all that information is available on our website, and I will drop it in the comments as well. But without further ado, I'm going to welcome Luisa to the chat so that we can talk a little bit about what it is that you do over at IMS. Hi, Luisa. How are you?
Hi, Ebony. Good to see you, and thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your career trajectory, and how you ended up over at IMS doing the work that you do now.
Yeah, thank you. So I am going on my second season here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it's absolutely the dream job. I mean, I get to interact not only with fans from around the world, but the leaders that I get to work alongside and the team that I have here. Really, it's such a small but mighty team that we make the greatest spectacle in racing happen. So I'm just so honored to be in this position and be in the position to really welcome our community into the greatest month in Indy. I landed my role here by sheer luck of being connected with a former colleague that I used to work with over at Indy 11. And so I was able to, stay connected with him. And, the opportunity came about that this community role had become available. And so I kind of, take it and ran with it and just tried to really, think through, this is going to be a whole new environment, whole new sector. I had never worked in sports before, although this is my second time working in sports. But truly, I was kind of like, all right, let's take a shot and let's see if it's worth it. And it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. Um, I'm originally from Mexico, so I immigrated here to Indiana when I was about 5 years old. So at this point, I'm half a Hoosier, and I grew up on the west side of Indianapolis. Went to Ben Davis High School, and then I attended IUPUI. Got my bachelor's in communication studies with a minor in Latino studies, and really, I think IUPUI was the reason why I've been able to get so integrated and so connected with Indianapolis and be able to have positions where I'm truly, making an impact and being able to serve in variety of positions. So I really credit IPUI for allowing me to flourish and allowing me to truly find my passion. Because without that, I don't think I would have had the same opportunities otherwise. And I started my career working for a staffing firm up on the northwest side of Indianapolis. Then from there, navigated to work with the mayor's office, worked at Indy 11, and then worked a few times with the Indy Chamber until then I kind of finally landed on this role that I have here with IMS.
That is amazing. It sounds like you've had just this wide range of experiences, which I think is really cool. And also, we have that in common with being West Siders because I graduated from Ben Davis High School as well, class of '07.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So awesome, awesome connections. And I want to come back to that in a little bit, but to bring people kind of behind the scenes, because growing up on the West Side, the Motor Speedway in the month of May is such a huge deal for people, whether you're going to attend the race or you just
Yeah.
see all the traffic and hear the cars running around the track every day. But what is it that you do with the community in your role with outreach and fan engagement?
Yeah, absolutely. So my role here with IMS really involves around engaging with our fans, right? So it's really getting the word out about, not only race day and tickets, but also about programs and how, the fans can feel more, more connected to our brand. But in the same time, making sure we are diversifying our fan base and really getting out to groups that may have otherwise have never heard of us, have never attended a race, or simply have never been really connected with our brand. So I really work closely with my counterparts over at IndyCar to also create some education opportunities to educate groups organizations that may or may not be familiar with IndyCar, and really trying to highlight how diverse not only our drivers are, but really how diverse the series is in terms of where we race, and the opportunities that people around really the nation have to go out and watch these drivers go at 200 miles per hour at different racetracks. But here locally, my main focus is the month of May, all the way from working within our arts and culture department, all the way through working at how we're activating trackside and our fan zone, and attracting our littlest of young fans to visit our rookie zone, as we like to call it here. So it's a lot on the team to really make sure that we get opportunities out to the community. But I think most importantly, I would not be able to do the work that I do without the valuable community partners that we have, like the Arts Council, the Harrison Center, because they really are the core of a lot of our programs. So it's finding ways to creatively tap into how does this benefit their organization, but as well as how can we benefit from having that arm to reach out to and potentially grow our fan base through their audiences as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. And a lot of what you hit on is the foundational reason behind the event that we're having at IMS on May 19th is to talk about the work that's being done to reach out to these broader communities to bring them into something that is such a huge part of our city's culture. Can you tell us why that is so important from your perspective to be reaching out to these various communities to have them be a part of this experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the what IMS represents, it really represents so many people, so many communities, right? Where this is, not too many sports can say they have, 100-year-old history. So the fact that this history lives just minutes away from the community, and we're right down the street, I think it's a great opportunity to be able to have an influence and try and make an impact, but at the same time bring people together. I mean, we bring fans from around the world, but to be able to really unite our community that are here locally, that are born and raised here on the west side, or have been born here and raised here but have never attended. Those are the people that we want for them to experience what it means to be in a single place where it just feels like everyone is united, and just the many stories that you see of of fans coming in with their grandparents or their dads year after year. We want to be able to tell more of those stories and give people a reason to not only feel like they're connected to our brand, but also just be able to create memories with their own families, and create those opportunities to leave a legacy almost for other future fans to come.
That is incredible. That's incredible. So earlier you mentioned the fact that you have had this amazing career that's been so diverse in its own right, where you have just worked in these different sectors and worked with different groups. Along that path, along that journey, what are some of the leadership lessons that have helped to inspire you and make you the leader that you are today?
Yeah, there's several things that come to mind. I think one is having a mentor. I've been lucky enough to have a lot of great mentors that have guided me through different challenges and kind of different opportunities along the way that have been presented. But I think out of that, it's also making sure that you're building your own board of directors, right? So people that work in different fields or have different experiences, that at any moment's notice you can call on them and say, hey, I have this problem, or hey, I'm looking to just brainstorm. Because yeah, I think a leader isn't necessarily the smartest person in the room. So I really need to make sure that the people that I'm surrounding with can bring different energies that I need at a given time. Because I think there's a lot to say about communication and the honesty that another person can bring, and kind of bring that perspective, just because leader can only say so much about you. So I think making sure you're kind of building your own board of directors, to guide you whenever you need it. And I think too, leaders are people that want other people to grow. So with how I'm building my team right now, it's making sure that I'm seeing opportunities for others to have a moment of leadership opportunity, and being able to guide them, and making sure that everyone on my team knows that they're also a champion, right? And they can also have an influence. And also just knowing the value that you bring, and making sure that when you're at the table, making sure your ideas are heard. And if there's not a seat for you, you bring a chair, and you make a seat available for yourself. Especially as a proud Latina, I'm always want to make sure that I'm representing my community to the best light possible, but making sure I'm also, have a seat at the table where those decisions are made.
Wonderful, wonderful advice. And I so appreciate you for sharing that with us. I appreciate your time this afternoon having this conversation with me. Any last words before we wrap up?
No, thank you so much for having me. And to all the young leaders is, get out there, connect with your city. It's so important. I think Indy has so much potential for young professionals to be connected with one another. It's small but mighty city, and it's a dream to be in this role. And I would love to connect with anyone who would kind of learn more about careers here, or just learn about from one another. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely, anytime. And I want to just underscore what you shared about getting engaged and getting involved as a young leader, because there is a lot of opportunity that is available. And I also want to remind everyone that we're going to be having another conversation on May 19th at IMS, with yourself, with Jimmy McMillan, who is Chief Counsel and Chief Diversity Officer, Senior Counsel and Chief Diversity Officer, and Kristen Whedon, who is over there at Penske Entertainment as well. So they can learn more at leadershipindianapolis.org/upcoming events. I've dropped that in the comments, so you guys can engage with us on May 19th. But thank you again, Luisa, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
And thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in to this episode of The Convo. You can learn more about Leadership Indianapolis by going to our website at leadershipindianapolis.org. Thank you and have a wonderful afternoon.